Welcome everyone. And happy Shavuot, happy holiday of weeks, and Mazel Tov to all our wonderful confirmants. About 3,000 years ago, give or take, our ancestors stood beneath the Sinai mountain, ready to receive the Torah, ready to enter the covenant of our people with Adonai our God. And today, you, our confirmants, are standing here and accepting from your own free will, just as our ancestors did 3,000 years ago, your commitment to the Jewish community, to the people of Israel, and to your Jewish identity. This is really a holiday for all of us. We begin our service at page 1 with the blessings over the candles and the fruit of the wine.
As we kindle these festival lights, may we rekindle in our hearts the light of the Torah, the light of truth. May these shining candles remind us of the flame of God which burns within us all. May we be warmed by its presence, just as these flames bring light and life and warmth to our celebration tonight.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Yom Tov.
We celebrate this day in holiness and in joy. We lift this cup as a symbol of the sweetness of this day, made holy by our commitment to bring happiness and joy to all the world. May the Torah ever be sweet within our mouths. May it lead us to a world of peace. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Borei pri hagafen. We enter the sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst, a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, to holding them up to a vision of their truest selves.
Now we, in our turn, come in the sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. In the brightness of this Confirmation Eve, as we celebrate our receiving of the light of the Torah, may God's presence settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer.
So each one of our confirmants is going to speak a short speech about what it means to be Jewish for them, what it means to be part of the Jewish community, and what Judaism means for them. They wrote it on their own, and they wrote beautiful speeches that really comes from their learning and their hearts and their faiths and their beliefs. Our first ones are Parker and Caroline.
Today I want to talk to you about what it means to be Jewish. Judaism is not a religious identity, but a cultural identity deeply rooted in history, tradition, and community. Firstly, being Jewish means being loyal to your faith and your people. Throughout history, Jews have faced countless challenges and persecutions, but they have always remained steady in their loyalty and their faith in their community. This loyalty is not only to the present generation, but to our past generations and generations of future generations. Second, to be Jewish is to be part of a community. The Jewish community is a small group of people who share a common history, culture, and values. It is a community that celebrates together, grieves together, and supports each other through thick and thin. Being part of a Jewish community creates a sense of belonging and identity that is hard to find anywhere else. Third, being Jewish means valuing your family. Family is incredibly important to a Jewish life, and not just blood relatives. In the Jewish tradition, everyone is viewed as part of a larger family, with a strong sense of responsibility and duty to his or her family members. This sense of family extends beyond the individual and to the whole community, which has shared responsibility for mutual care. Finally, being Jewish means embracing tradition. Jewish tradition is rich and diverse, spanning thousands of years and history, involving many rituals and ceremonies. From Shabbat celebrations to major holiday celebrations, Jewish traditions provide a deep connection to the past and a strong foundation for the future.
I've been coming to temple services since I was little. As a young child, I could never grasp the meaning of Judaism, but as I got older, my mom started sending me to Hebrew school on Wednesdays and Sundays to get me ready for my bat mitzvah that I would eventually have. After many long years of being here, I can say that I finally understand what I think it means to be Jewish. To me, Judaism is all about community, whether it's here at the temple, at school, or at summer camps, which I only attended one time, but it was good. Anyways, the Jewish community here at the temple is by far the most accepting group of people I've come across in my life. Meeting new people isn't something I enjoy, but the people sitting next to me made it really easy. Though I don't participate in BBYO or any other youth groups, coming to the temple has allowed me to meet people I can call my friends. Since the Jewish community in Louisville is small, it's nice having people to relate and connect to. To conclude my speech, I'd like to thank the rabbis that have helped me since 4th grade. I would not be standing where I am right now without your guidance and support, and thank you all for coming.
And we rise for the Baruch, which...
Baruch hu et Adonai Hamvarach. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach ve'olam baruch. Praise be the one to whom praise is due. Praise to be the one whom praise is due, now and forever.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, bechochma poteach sha'arim, uvitvunach meshane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umsader et hakohavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei hoshech, v'hoshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom uvein laila, umavdil bein yom uvein laila. Adonai Tzivaot Shemo, El Chai V'Kayam, Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai, Hama Ariv Aravim.
Amen. I am a Jew because, born of Israel and having lost her, I have felt her live again in me, more living than myself. I am a Jew because the faith of Israel demands of me no abdication of the mind.
I am a Jew because the faith of Israel requires of me all devotion of my heart.
I am a Jew because in every place where suffering weeps, the Jew weeps.
I am a Jew because every time the Spirit cries out, the Jew weeps.
I am a Jew because the word of Israel is the oldest and the newest.
I am a Jew because the promise of Israel is the newest.
I am a Jew because for Israel the world is not completed, we are completing it.
I am a Jew because the whole nation is Israel,
I'm a Jew because above humanity, image of the divine unity, Israel places the unity which is divine.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated, everyone.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele, asher anochi mitzavaha chayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'leftecha b'derech u'shokbecha u'kumecha, u'kshartam la'ot al yadecha, v'hayu latotafot bein einecha, Uktav tam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha, lema'an tiskaru v'tzitem et kol mitzvotai, v'tem kedoshim le'elohehem, ani Adonai Elohehem, asher hotzeiti ethem me'eretz Mitzrayim, lehiot lahem le'elohim, ani Adonai Elohehem.
And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you on this day shall be upon your heart, shall be upon your heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up, and when you rise up, and you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes, and you shall write them on the doorposts of your house, and upon your gates, and upon your gates, that you may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God.
Shalom, everyone. I'm Abby Berger, and by now you know the prompt of my speech, how to explain to a room full of Jews what Judaism means to me. As poor Rabbi David knows, I struggled with this speech. On the surface, being Jewish is just what I am. I have the signature Ashkenazi curls, I love matzo ball soup, and I like to throw random Yiddish words into my sentences for fun. I've always known these things. Yet, I've been fighting to prove I exist ever since elementary school. One of my favorite Jewish concepts is tikkun olam. In your program, it is defined as healing the world. It can also be defined as improving the world. As kindergarten me saw a giant Christmas tree go up every December and nothing else, I decided that the way I would improve the world was through education. And that's what I did. I taught my fellow classmates about Hanukkah every year by bringing props and telling stories. With help from my mom, I even got the front office to put a menorah and dreidels next to the tree every year. I left elementary school quite proud of my accomplishments. Mazel tov, I had won. And then came middle school. This was a time of races and growth spurts. I joined orchestra and I learned about the glories of algebra. This is also when I was properly introduced to the Holocaust. I learned about it from Hebrew school and a little bit in 8th grade, but I also learned through books. The only Jewish characters I could find in chapter books were always about the Holocaust. So of course, I read them and I learned. I kept this history in the back of my mind, but as a middle schooler, we tend to forget things, and I didn't really think about it. Until one day, in orchestra, I saw a swastika carved into my cello. I don't know if you've ever seen a cello up close, but it has a tough top coat. To get a scratch through is very difficult. To find out that someone had taken the painstaking time to carve a symbol of hate on such an innocent canvas, that was baffling for me. Talk about a wake-up call. I reported what happened to my teacher, and soon the school counselor gave a presentation on hate symbols and why they hurt people. And then I continued to educate those around me about Jewish holidays and the deliciousness of matzo ball soup, although I had to first explain what matzah was. So I left middle school, proud I had made a difference. Mazel tov, I had won. And then came high school. Oi, gavolt. In between classes, extracurriculars, and learning to drive, I soon realized that I was the only practicing Jewish student in almost 2,000. To say I experienced some anti-Semitism is to put it lightly. Students would do the Nazi salute and post Holocaust memes, and teachers would let them get away with it, with nothing more than warning. I'm sick of it. By now, I've come to realize that the common denominator for all these incidents was that people didn't know I was there. They didn't know a Jewish student went to their school and witnessed what they did. So I'm doing what I do best, educating. I remind my little southern Indiana town that there's a whole world of people who are different, and some are quite close to home. Now, how does this answer the prompt? What does it mean to be Jewish as a public school student in southern Indiana? It's the moment of hesitation to put on a Star of David necklace. It's not hesitating to correct someone's mispronunciation of a holiday. It's the telling and retelling of the story of Hanukkah every December. It's making challah. It's eating. Lots and lots of eating. It's keeping a list of anti-Semitic moments I've experienced. It's the plan to use that list to start a revolution. These are all answers I'm sure Rabbi David did not see coming. For me, to be Jewish is to exist, to take up space and learn and educate, to hope for the better, but to start on the problem now. So, shalom, I'm Abby Berger, and I'm proud to say that as a Jew, I exist.
It's going to be hard to beat that. What does it mean to be Jewish? There is so much variety to that question, and the answer is completely different for everyone. For me, I think the answer is complex. My father, as well as his whole side of the family, is Christian, and my mother, as well as her side, is Jewish. Being in an interfaith family has its good parts and parts that are minor inconveniences. On one hand, I get to experience the culture of twice the religions that most practicing people do, which I think is very special and interesting. I really like the different views that I get, even if there's pressure from those opposing views. But on the other hand, I have to go to somewhat conflicting religious services, and it takes up quite a few hours a week. I find that the people closest to me feel the polar opposite about one of the most important things to them, but I'm glad that they don't let it get in the way of anything. As a part of this interfaith family, I was 1 year old when I was baptized, and I was 8 when I had my first communion. At 13, I had my bar mitzvah, and now, at 16, I'm having my confirmation. Participating in all of these religious ceremonies has meant a lot to me, and I greatly appreciate the opportunity to be a part of all of this. To me, being Jewish is more about the community, culture, and friends than the exact practices like paying attention to whether I should be sitting or standing when reciting the Shema. I love all of the people I've met in this community, and I also love celebrating Jewish holidays with my friends, whether it be introducing my non-Jewish friends to this religion or the calming familiarity of a Passover with other Jewish families. In addition to the community, I very much agree with the values of Judaism, so I think that that has a lot to do with the meaning of what it means to be Jewish. Tikkun olam, repairing the world, is one of the most essential Jewish values. It is the idea that Jews are called upon to make the world more just, peaceful, tolerant, and equal through acts of charity and kindness. In conclusion, I plan on continuing my Jewish journey in many ways, as it is something important to me. The closest upcoming way I'm strengthening my Jewish identity is a 3-week trip to Israel this summer. I appreciate everyone for coming here today and celebrating this Jewish milestone with all of us. Thank you.
We believe in tomorrow. We believe that ignorance, poverty, and lack of sensitivity to the feelings, needs, or beliefs of others need not to be permanent. We believe that there can yet be a time of peace, a time of sisterhood and brotherhood, and a time of tranquility for ourselves, for our children, and for everyone who lives on this earth. The world may smile at our dreams, but no matter, we still believe.
Please, everyone, rise as we turn to page 3 for the tefillah.
Adonai, sifatai tiftach, ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei, Avoteinu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor va'anora, El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'kaneh Hakol, V'zoher Chasdei Avot V'imohot, U'mevi Ge'ula, U'imei V'nehem, U'ma'an Shemo Ba'ahava. Melech Hoser Moshiach Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham ve'Ezrat Sarah.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, and God who came before us, God of Abraham, God of Isaac, God of Jacob, God of Sarah, God of Rebekah, God of Rachel, and God of Leah. Great, mighty, and awesome God, God transcendent, maker of heaven and earth.
With a word, you shielded our ancestors. With a phrase, you give all things life. Sacred God beyond compare, who took joy in providing rest for your people. On your holy Shabbat and festivals, we will service you reverently, acknowledging on each and every day forever just who you are.
Place of blessing, God of gratitude, creator of peace, who recalls the time of creation by sanctifying Shabbat, blessing the seventh day, giver of the Torah, who recalls the moment at Sinai by creating holy this festival of Shavuot, and in holiness granting rest to a people overflowing with joy.
Being Jewish is very important to me in many different ways. I appreciate how it has brought me together with many people, as well as the culture that comes around the religion. I'm especially thankful that it brings me and my family closer to each other. For example, over this past Passover, my family and I traveled to Florida to visit some of my extended family. I love being Jewish because the holidays encourage us to take a step back from our day-to-day life, prioritize spending time with our family, and appreciate the significance of their religion. By being Jewish, I've also met many people who I cherish along the way. Ever since I was 2 years old, I've been going to the temple. It first started with preschool, then Sunday school, then religious school, my bat mitzvah, and finally my confirmation. During the years spent here, I've met so many great people for who I will always be thankful. I've met some of the best people and would never have this opportunity to meet them if it wasn't for my religion. This summer, I get the opportunity to travel to Israel and meet other young Jews from across the country. I'm thankful that I am Jewish because it gives me a sense of community. Whenever I meet someone new and they mention that they are Jewish, it immediately gives us a connection since we share the same beliefs. Being part of the Jewish community is a very important factor in my life.
When I was 5 years old, I came home from my kindergarten Christmas party, and I asked my mom, "Why don't we have Christmas?" She told me, "It's because we are Jews." Not knowing what this meant, I said, "I don't want to be a Jew." She said, "That's the most Jewish thing there is." To me, being Jewish is both a blessing and a curse. I'm rejoiced to be a member of this incredible community with a rich culture and heritage. Because of my Judaism, I've had opportunities which never could have been imagined by Goyim. I've also been given a chance to work as a TA and participate in the events of BBYO. But Judaism isn't all good things. We children of Abraham have suffered tribulation for thousands of generations, from the cruel despondency and the yoke of the Pharaoh's reign, even to the modern day, where people filled with hate march in the streets, chanting words of ill will to our people. The Jews have been persecuted by at least 9 different empires throughout history, yet we persevered. The greatest thing of all is that we can stand on the bima today and proclaim our Judaism to the world free of fear. When I went to a Catholic school, an institution of education run by Christianity, I was given the nickname Sheeny Boy. My grandmother escaped Leopoldstadt when she was 5 years old by pretending to be a Gentile. My grandfather was not so lucky. And yet they survived. Each of their respective children met and created me. All of us in this room have suffered at some point or another anti-Semitism, but nevertheless we strive on. So the essence of Judaism, in my mind, is the undying urge to never step back.
They shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not take up sword against nation. They shall never know war. Don't stop after beating the swords into plowshares. Don't stop. Go on beating and making musical instruments out of them. Whoever wants to make war again will have to turn them into plowshares first.
Shalom Ra Yisrael Amcha Tazim Leolam. Shalom Ra Yisrael Amcha Tazim Leolam. Ki oto Melech Adon L'kol HaShalom.
Good evening, everyone. This is a big milestone for my fellow confirmants and me as we lead you through the service tonight. With college right around the corner, I think it is important to look back and thank the people who have helped us to get to this place. The people are one of the biggest reasons why I'm in touch with my Jewish self. Holidays are always special in my family because everyone goes over to my grandma's house for dinner. I always look forward to these days because I get to see my family members that I don't get to see as often. It's always fun, and I don't know what I would do without it. Other than during COVID, I don't think I've ever missed a holiday. As troublesome as some of the religious school students are at times, I enjoy teaching them. I genuinely do. It's fun. I love walking in the door to be greeted by a smile from a rabbi. Waking up early on a Sunday may not be my first choice, but it's great to see my Jewish friends that I don't get to see at school every day. I wouldn't trade the connections I've made for anything. Whether it's a BBYO event or meeting one of my grandma's friends, I've met so many new people from being Jewish, and all of them have done something to help me get here today. I appreciate everyone who has helped me on my journey. On that note, I would like to thank Rabbi David. You've been great, from teaching me in 7th grade to navigating my chaotic COVID bar mitzvah, to teaching me once again through confirmation. I don't know what I would do without you. You have made my Jewish experience so special, and I just want to make sure that you know how awesome you are.
To me, being Jewish is all about community. Unlike many of my classmates, I did not grow up in the temple and hadn't gone to Sunday school. I have always known I was Jewish because I went to temple on the holidays and celebrated with my family. However, I never understood what being Jewish meant to me. I recently became more involved in the Jewish community. Last summer, I started studying for my bat mitzvah and joined confirmation class at the age of 15. I was very intimidated going into everything, knowing very little about the religion and the people at the temple. However, after the first confirmation Hebrew class, I immediately started making friends. Many think I'm crazy for going to Hebrew school and confirmation on Wednesday afternoons and Sunday afternoons. However, it is the most enjoyable time of my week. Although tradition and prayers are very important in Judaism, what kept me going and feeling like a true Jew were the friends and relationships I have made on the way. A few friends from Temple got me to go to a BBYO event, and again, I felt very vulnerable going because I didn't know many people. However, everybody welcomed me with open arms, and after that event, I joined BBYO and decided to go to Spring Convention last month. I was a new member, and it was my first convention. I only knew a few people from my chapter. Spring Convention was the best weekend of my life, where I had made so many nice and supportive Jewish friends. I left convention understanding what being Jewish means to me. Being Jewish is all about community and acceptance. After Spring Convention, I am not only a proud BBYO member, J. Levine BBG, but a proud Jew. Thank you to everyone that has helped me through the past year and been nothing but welcoming and supportive, especially Siggy, my TA.
We turn to page 4 to sing together the Misha Berach, the prayer for healing and courage and strength in our lives and in the lives of everyone that we care for. Please rise, everyone, as we're about to take out the Torah for the service of reading from the Torah. Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Our God is one, Adonai is great, holy is God's name.
Please be seated.
Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hambarach.
Baruch
Adonai Barach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen.
Vadaber Elohim et kol hadavarim ha'ele lemor Anochi Adonai Elohecha asher hotziti ticha me'eretz Mitzrayim mivit atadim li yiyelecha Elohim achayirim al panah Li ta'aseh lacha velel v'chal tamadu asher bashamayit ma'al v'asher ba'aretz mitbacha v'asher ba'amyim mitatef la'aretz. God spoke all of these words, saying, I, Adonai, am your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, the house of bondage. You shall have no other gods besides me. You shall not make for yourself a sculpture image or any likeness of what is in heaven above, or on the earth below, or in the waters under the earth.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu toret emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai notein haTorah.
Amen.
What does it mean to be Jewish? This is a rhetorical question, and since it is a rhetorical question, there is no answer. I think that Judaism is not clear, in my opinion, since it can be considered religion, a people, a culture, and other ways of interpreting it. Judaism is a very old belief system, which is thousands of years old. Being Jewish thousands of years ago is different from being Jewish now. To answer this rhetorical question, I think the beliefs that I am Jewish makes me Jewish. My interpretation of being Jewish is like a living document. It changes over time and is not set in stone. There is no ideas. There's just ideas added and removed. But the belief of being Jewish is the same. Have a good day.
What does Judaism mean to me? What a simple yet extremely loaded question. Judaism has always sort of been there in my life, from celebrating holidays to summer camp to discussions with my family that always somehow tie back to, did you know so-and-so is Jewish? My Jewish roots have always been present, but what exactly Jewish means to me isn't clear. There's obviously more to being Jewish than just believing in God and reading from the Torah, because there has to be some sentimentality behind those things to level with people. And there's more to being Jewish than just being part of Jewish culture, because there's more to being Jewish than just eating bagels and watching Adam Sandler movies. When I was originally asked this question, I thought back to my parents and my grandparents. To those of you without context, my entire family immigrated here from Russia in the late 90s. Being Jewish wasn't explicitly outlawed in the USSR, but there was a general animosity that made life into a choice between believing what you believe and being safe and successful. My My grandma reminds me every day that back in Russia she worked with a very important rabbi, and because of that she knew lots of Jewish people in St. Petersburg and in Russia overall. After moving here, my grandma stayed in touch with all of those people and even managed to make new friends strictly off of the basis of being Jewish and having mutual Jewish friends. I mean, she spoke absolutely zero English, and over 20 years after leaving Russia and into her 70s, she's still more social than a lot of teenagers I know. She makes a new friend every day despite not knowing much about them, and when she mentions them in conversation, they're often introduced with, oh, he or she is just Jewish. I think that's the power of Judaism to me, a connection formed by all the important parts, faith, culture, spirituality, everything. It's a connection between us and the people that we have yet to meet that you feel like you've always known. Thank you very much.
We're now asking everyone to be kind of patient. I'm going to give a personal blessing to each one of the confirmants. So you'll come next to the ark in your turn. And Dr. Louis Bailey, our wonderful music director, is going to play music while we're doing that. Please. Happy Shavuot, everyone, and Mazel Tov to our wonderful confirmants. They're great. Until this year, I didn't get to teach the confirmation class. It was always Rabbi Rapport, so I have to admit that I'm really nervous tonight. I never paid attention. I was just doing my part, and now I need to pay attention. The students, which I really love, kind of said to me before that it will all be okay. So hopefully it's going okay. I wanted to say a few words to you, the confirmants, and to everyone that is here. One of my favorite television shows was an HBO series called Sex and the City. Some of you are old enough to remember that. And in the 6th season, if you remember, Charlotte, one of the heroes, converts. She converts for one purpose. She has a Jewish boyfriend, and he will not marry someone who is not a Jew because he promised that to his mother on her deathbed. So he has to marry a Jewish person. So she converts wholeheartedly at the end, and they go and have a meal at a restaurant, and he orders pork. And she goes nuts, and she says, I gave up Jesus for you. I gave up Christmas for you, and you're ordering pork. And he says to her, I'm a conservative Jew, and we eat whatever we want. The conservative movement did not like that line. So they took an ad of an entire page in the New York Times. That's pretty expensive, I'm sure. And it said, conservative Jews do not eat pork. And underneath that was an whole explanation about what conservative Judaism is all about. The writer of Sex in the City wrote back, she didn't have to pay for an ad, she wrote back in the New York Times and said, I'm a conservative Jew. My dad is a conservative rabbi. My brother is a conservative rabbi. And we eat whatever we want. And no rabbi is going to tell me what it means to be a conservative Jew. This is Judaism today. You all spoke about what Judaism is for you. Many of you mentioned that Judaism is about belonging to a community. But truth be told, we don't have dogmas of faith. It doesn't matter what kind of Jew you are, we do not tell people what to believe in. And to be honest, just as the hero of Sex and the City said, we choose how to live our lives as Jews. The rabbis, the clergy of this temple and of any other temple are not going to tell you what makes you into a good Jew or what makes you into a Jew. We're not going to tell you what Judaism is. This is up to you to choose what kind of Judaism you want to have in your life. Judaism is a tradition, it's a religion, it's a faith, it's a story that we're all part of, it's values, it's loyalty, it's things that we remember from our history, and mainly it's being part of a congregation, part of a community. The first call to the first Jewish person, Avram, God says, go forth and I will make of you a great people. God doesn't say to Avram, and let's start a new religion. Let's start monotheism. Let me tell you what you need to believe in. It's all about being connected to people, being connected to a community. And this is why this year I try to introduce to our confirmation class what makes the Jewish community of Louisville. We got to meet the different institutes here to see what our community has to offer for good and for not so good, because my message to you is your beliefs, your faith is in your own private sphere. What from Jewish tradition you choose to keep, that's up to you. I hope and pray that you find lots of positive things that you want to take with you from your life, from our Jewish tradition. I hope that you find the right dose that fits you of Tikkun Olam, of Jewish deeds, of what you believe in, of what tradition, of how you belong. And I really hope and pray that if you don't like what you found, you'll create it, that you will be part of creating what kind of Jewish life you want to live. So, Mazal Tov, and happy Shavuot to everyone. And I want to thank you all. I never thought I would enjoy that much to teach the confirmation class, but I did. I really like all of you, and I hope to continue to see you many more times. And I have to say, taking the chance that I'll embarrass a few people, I really enjoy seeing people who are part of confirmation and part of becoming a bat and a bar mitzvah here, Elana that is here, and Elliot that is here. I hope I didn't miss anyone of embarrassing that had the confirmation here. So really come back and thank you for spending time with me. And I would like to invite our president, Dr. Michael Solomon, to give a short blessing.
Good evening. First of all, congratulations to our newest confirmation class. First thing Rabbi said to me when I came in the door is how much he really loved working with this group, and I see why. You guys gave great speeches, and I'm really impressed with all of you. So it's a great honor for me to have the opportunity to address you as the Temple's president. Of all the responsibilities this position requires, this is one of the things I look forward to the most. While our temple has a long and proud history, and we're currently celebrating our 180th anniversary, I have no doubt that our future is what really matters the most. And of course, you are our future. I commend all of you for completing your Jewish education. It is not necessarily a given these days that all Jewish children will complete that which you have accomplished. Priorities change. COVID was a nuisance, to say the least. Competing activities interfere. But all of you stuck with it and became confirmands. Congratulations for that. While not all of you will necessarily return to the Louisville area permanently after college, you will settle somewhere, and it is important that you seek out and participate in the Jewish community. In addition, it is not just good enough to join, but you must lead. Our Jewish institutions and its people are depending on it. I grew up in a relatively small Jewish community in Stockton, California. I was marginally involved in Jewish life, and likely my most notable accomplishment was my poor behavior in religious school. On a recent trip to California, I had lunch with my childhood rabbi, and he was surprised, to say the least, when I told him I was president of Kentucky's largest congregation. The point is, keep an open mind, as you never know what the future will bring, and there will be many opportunities to serve. Make sure you don't let those opportunities pass you by.
I want to wish a hearty Mazal Tov to our confirmation students and their families. You all are an exemplary class that has demonstrated true scholarship, curiosity, and dedication to your Jewish education and your temple community. You all consistently showed up, actively participated, asked the challenging questions, and supported each other. You are Rabbi David's first official confirmation class, and we couldn't be prouder that you have earned that distinction. So to Abby, Ezra, Julia, Siggy, Henry, Caroline, Parker, Sarah, Mason, and Mark, Mazal Tov again. You've really done us proud. If you could now imagine I'm taking off my High School of Jewish Studies hat and setting it aside and putting on a different hat that's, oh, thank you, Mason, wow, that says WRJ on it. And on behalf of Karen Waldman and I, my co-president and the Temple WRJ Sisterhood, we are going to present you with a meaningful book that we hope you'll find useful as you continue on your Jewish life paths. It is called On the Doorposts of Your House. It's a comprehensive guide to how you will live and practice Judaism throughout your life. Michael Friedman is now going to tell you a little bit about what the Brotherhood is going to present you.
Good evening and mazel tov to you. The Brotherhood, for many years, as long as I can remember, has given out Kiddush cups, and probably within the last maybe 10 years, we've been giving out the Mensch Award, which is given to people who are kind and good. And it's the question we always say is, how do you measure goodness? What is a good person? Well, the one result on that is to join Abby and me on Father's Day, where we have the Brotherhood annual trap shooting event. And there you can determine how good you are. And if you are very good, you get a trophy. And if you're not good, you also get a trophy, which is the humanitarian trophy, where no clay pigeons are injured. So I invite you, your parents, your grandparents, your siblings to join the Temple Brotherhood on Father's Day morning. We leave here at 9 a.m. And you can see just how good Abby is. And if you have a pink shotgun or no shotgun at all, we encourage you to join and become part and active of the Brotherhood. And now I think, are we giving out the Kiddush cups first? Or?
We're going to kind of do it all at once. So I'm going to.
Okay.
We have multiple things here, and so stand right here, and you can help with the Kiddush cups. It's also our tradition that there are awards given to recognize the various ways that each student has stood out throughout the year. If you all look, you have a very handy paper bag underneath your chair. If you want to get that, because we have several things we're going to be giving you, and that way you'll have a handy way to hold them. All right. So first, Abby Berger is received the, is it Etta and Leopold Marx Community Service Award. Will it work? I think it'll work. Oh, and I should also mention, so what they are receiving is the book from Sisterhood, Kiddush cup from the Brotherhood, and the Temple is giving them a beautiful Seder plate, which will kind of complete their collection of Judaic items that they have received over their years in religious school.
And it's handmade by a local artist from our temple, by
Susan Jaffe, who used to teach art in the religious school. Ezra Fouts received one of the Temple Brotherhood Mensch Award. Mazel tov. Julia Goldstein received the Confirmation Class Ruach Award. That means spirit. Mazal tov. It's a lot. I'm going to let you do that. There you go. Siggy. I know. Yeah, don't forget your bag. The bag is essential. Siggy also received the Confirmation Class Ruach Award. I went with Samuel for the official certificate. I hope that's okay. Mm-hmm. Henry received the Sigmund and Marie Honig Memorial Volunteer Award. There you go. Caroline. Caroline received the Molly F. Klein Leadership Award. There you go. Parker. Parker received the Temple Brotherhood Mensch Award. Sarah. Sarah also received the Temple Brotherhood Mensch Award. Mazal tov. Mason.
I have my Kroger bag.
Thank you. Good. Mason received the Confirmation Class of 2023 Academic Award. Mazal tov. Here, so you hold that. I'll give you your speech.
I want it.
You don't want your speech? Okay.
You can keep it forever.
Thank you, thank you. And Mark? Mark received the Confirmation Temple Service Award. Mazal tov.
Now I'm going to ask the confirmants to put down their bags somehow without breaking anything as we all rise for the Aleinu on page 5, at the bottom of page 5. And we read together at the bottom of page 5. Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spread out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else.
May we gain, okay, I'll repeat myself. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Loved, each of us, for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hands, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun. O God, over all humanity, cause light to go forth over all the land between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholesomeness and of freedom and of peace. Amen.
It has been said Adonai will be sovereign over all the earth. On that day Adonai will be one, and God's name will be one, and God's name will be one.
There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light, long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved, their memories keep shining ever brightly. Though their time with us is done, but the star that lights up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember.
Please join me as we say together the Mourner's Kaddish. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעולמי עולמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא. ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילם מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, לאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו,
הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן.
Chag Sameach, happy Shavuot everyone, and thank you for being here. Mazal Tov to our confirmants. We have an oneg that has cheesecakes and ice cream and fruits and all kinds of good things and a chance to social. Please say Mazal Tov to each one of the confirmants, and please also say happy holiday to someone you never met before. May we only get to meet one another in such joyful occasions. Thank you all.
Amen.